I've been very, very worried about dear leader's health. But the good news is we have news from the post-millennial. White House releases health report claiming Joe Biden is healthy and robust. Okay, well, look, define healthy and
define robust.
Sometimes they describe large women as healthy and robust. And we all know that they're not healthy, but I guess you can call them robust. I don't know. So relative to what? Healthy and robust. Well, if they said he's healthy for an 81-year-old man, which means he's 2 years past the standard life expectancy for an American male. So he's fading fast, but he's still alive. Therefore, he's healthy and robust.
Robust meaning powerfully built, sturdy, full of health and strength.
The guy who falls upstairs.
That's the guy.
Is what?
You've been told.
Oh, I love that
He's
definition.
structurally sound as he
requiring
topples.
or characterized by much strength or energy.
I'm much. I honestly, there are times when I feel like sort of guilty making fun of the way he walks and talks because it just feels sort of like you're punching down. You're punching at this like elderly guy who should clearly be retired, whose wife doesn't seem, despite the fact that in the report they say, he's been happily married for 46 years. She obviously does not care enough about him to say, hey, maybe let's not run anymore. Let's enjoy your final years together. Like it feels a little bit gross to make fun of him. On the other hand, he puts himself in these positions where you're like, sir, you're representing our country and you make us all look bad. Maybe we should bully you.
These are fundamentally dishonest people. It's just that simple. For this guy, Kevin O'Connor, DOFAAFP, physician to the president, he says, as requested by the patient, the following is a summary of the current health status of President Joseph R. Biden. The president feels well, and this year's physical identified no new concerns. He continues to be fit for duty and fully executes all of his responsibilities without any exemptions or accommodations. As in previous years, I've conducted comprehensive reviews of President Biden's medical history and performed detailed physical examination. Blah, blah, blah. Does again include specialty, blah, blah, blah. Come on.
What?
A 10-year-old can see this man on the TV and say something's wrong with that man.
This is one of the things that is gonna annoy me. I know this is gonna happen. Is someone's gonna be like, he has a clean bill of health. His doctor wrote that thing. I'm like, look at what I'm looking at, and now a guy is waving a piece of paper. Now look at it again. Did it change because he waved a piece of paper around, or are you still looking at that same thing? You're still looking at that same Joe Biden.
Joe Biden is going to be giving a speech, and he's going to grasp at his heart and go, and they're going to shuffle him away, and everyone's going to be like, well, it looks like he was coughing on something, but his doctor,
emotion.
Yeah, and his doctor says he's healthy, so no, we watched him on stage. He had a heart attack. No, that's debunked. He didn't have a heart attack. He had a mild cardiac episode, and he's fine now, and the doctor said he's healthy. You're a conspiracy theorist.
It's a right-wing conspiracy theorist that he's not healthy. You know what I mean? Like, it's totally wild. I think it was 2022, the word gaslighting was added to one of the dictionaries. Like, they're telling you he's fine, and we all know his speech is slurred, and it's not even mentioned. Like
turning that shot under pressure.
Right. The thing is, I wait for this report to come out every year because they have to acknowledge on some level things are changing, right? So last year they were like, he is experiencing mild stiffened gait, because everyone says he has the dementia shuffle, that this is a signature thing that happens. Or at one point they were mentioning in the report that he has he had a tooth issue, which, anybody could have like a cavity and need to be treated. But I just happen to know from friends who have family members with dementia that gum health is supposed to be indicative of mental state. And so theoretically, if he's experiencing teeth problems and we're seeing all these other signs, like maybe they are sort of acknowledging that he is on the downward spiral. They're just not trying to say the obvious answer. They're addressing all the symptoms, but not what's going on.
I'm trying to find that Seth Meyers one.
Is this new?
Is Biden? I mean, you just listen to the guy speak.
My favorite one recently is there are 18% of Americans, according to recent polling, have believe that you and Taylor Swift are actually working in cahoots. And after the Kansas City Chiefs won the Super Bowl, you posted this on social media and you wrote just like we drew it up. Now, I have you on the hot spot here. Can you confirm or deny that there is an active conspiracy between you and Miss Swift?
Where are you getting this information? It's classified.
It's classified information?
That's classified
You won't
information.
share it with us?
I'm not gonna, but I will tell you, she did endorse me in 2020.
Hey, I predicted that. They were going to come out and say a bunch of Trump supporters think there's a conspiracy, blah, blah, blah. Where's the, I want to find the clip where he's asked about his age. I don't know if it's this one.
Is this a recent episode?
Yeah, it's from a couple days ago.
They're like, put the sunglasses on.
My conspiracy theory is that he has asked Taylor Swift to endorse him and she has said no. And that's why they're trying to be like, oh, haha, it's a classified. She did it before. It's because she's actually turned down. That's my personal conspiracy theory based on my own nothingness. No one quote me.
She's not very political. Is she like apolitical?
Came out kind of as political, I think, to just prove that she is the token leftist, but she hasn't endorsed Biden this cycle. She did last time.
Very, very quiet now.
Yeah, I want to.
Well, I'll vamp and tell you that Joe Biden is super healthy,
robust.
We all wish.
Here we go.
Oh, here's an example.
Here we go. Materials, some documents recently leaked, some classified documents. And this isn't a gotcha show, but I do want to ask about it, that says you are currently 81 years old.
Who the hell told you that?
Yeah.
That's classified.
That's classified. All jokes aside, according to recent polling, this is a real concern for American voters. How do you address that concern going forward as you come up to the 2024 election?
Well, a couple things. Number one, you got to take a look at the other guy. He's about as old as I am, but he can't remember his wife's name.
Yeah.
See, that's crazy because that was actually him. That's the video where he's like, well, it's not so much I didn't remember his name. He's like, I got my sister over here. And he points to his wife. He's like, oh, no. Oh, she switched on me. Oh. And he's all confused. Come on.
Number one. Number two.
Was there a story about Trump not remembering Melania's name?
I've never seen a story like that.
This is a guy who wants to take us back. He wants to take us
he's
back
just talking about Trump.
He wants to take us back on a whole range of issues that are 50, 60 years. They've been solid American positions. And
President Joe Biden,
oh, they cut it off. That's Aaron Rupar. You got to love it when he cuts us off.
It seems, Joe, that you have some cognitive issues. Like the other guy, that other guy, all the bad ideas of the other guy. That's the answer to that one.
Wow, this one's wild.
Who told you that? It's classified.
Events of October 7th and how
Biden
Hamas
said I'm a
is continuing
Zionist.
Threat to the safety of the
He's
people
not going to win
who live
these
in
votes
Israel.
back.
You've been trying to negotiate the release of the hostages. At the same time, you've said that the response in Gaza is too much and that the loss of an innocent life in Gaza is just as horrible as the loss of an innocent life in Israel. And yet they're having calls for an immediate ceasefire. You have not supported those calls. Again, you seem like an optimistic person. You believe maybe there's a future for a two-state solution. But from where I'm sitting, it does seem like there doesn't seem to be any appetite for that right now. Do you see because again, we see this horrible.
Okay, dude, ask a question, please.
No, he has to talk for 5 minutes for every 30 seconds Biden talks to fill out this interview.
Takes place. Ramadan's coming up, and there's been an agreement by the Israelis that they would not engage in activities during Ramadan as well.
I think Aaron Rupar cut off the important parts of these where when he's asked about his age, what's the last thing Biden says? Is he just abruptly goes, oh, well, oh, whatever. That's it. He just loses his ability to speak and just shuts down.
Yeah. Well, it's hard. He's not getting enough sleep. He's not getting the rest that someone in his condition needs,
Well, no. The good news is he didn't need a cognitive test. According to the Daily Mail, during his physical, he didn't need it because he's totally fine. The White House confirmed Joe Biden did not take a cognitive test during his annual physical Wednesday and insisted he doesn't need one. Well, there you go.
One of the reporters in the room was like, well, if he doesn't need it, she said something effective like, he proves every day how cognitively sound he is. And one of the reporters was like, well, if you know it's going to be fine, why doesn't he just take the test anyways to assuage, the concern? She was like, because the doctor did not think it was necessary, which is just basically saying because we don't want to know what the answer is, in my opinion.
Yeah, I took that cognitive test. It's easy. It asks you what a lion is.
I don't know if Joe Biden could answer that. It's too political for him. It's classified, as he says.
The only thing that's a kind of a getcha is the test. The test giver says 5 words, and then a couple minutes later asks you what those words are, and I'm like, well, that's interesting because I could, if you tell me to memorize 5 words, I will. If you say I'm going to read you 5 words, I say okay, and then a few minutes later, what were those words I read? I'll be like, oh wow. I wasn't paying attention. I didn't care. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Committing things to long-term memory is an active process.
Well, I have to believe it's necessary. I'm not going to remember. I'm not going to intentionally try to remember things that don't matter. When I used to work nonprofit stuff, I could take a look at a credit card and remember the full number like that. But if I wasn't intending to, I wouldn't be able to tell you what someone's license plate was. I'd be like, I don't know. I didn't bother to even think about the license plate number was. But there's like active memory stuff you can do where it's like, it's really cool when you see card magicians do this. But for like a credit card, all you're trying to do is commit each segment to memory. Instead of memorizing 60 numbers, you're memorizing 4 numbers. It's really easy to memorize 4 numbers. What happened? Something happened?
Yeah, I mean, I just got a Trump update saying that he was removed from the ballot in another state. It happened again. I mean, I just saw it. I don't know what it was.
A Cook County judge just. I saw
Illinois just removed Trump. Oh, man. Well, this is going to be a fun 2024. Biden's doctor says everything's okay. Trump's getting the boot. Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.